my fellow Kenyans, my countrymen, my states persons, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'd just like us to address a little issue here concerning the rampage killing of our fellow brothers and sisters. I want to pass this message to all of us and the government at large, elected leaders, religious leaders, corporate members, all of us. We need to understand that we have a responsibility of protecting our country, protecting our peoples, protecting our lives, protecting our future. It's the responsibility of every Kenyan to make sure that life is not lost, because when you're losing life, we are losing our future. We are losing the future of our children and the economies that we are going to utilize as we continue to exist in our country. Furthermore, to our leaders, we need to understand that when we are elected into office, it's not because we are the smartest or the best or the richest. The very basic reason as to why we go to election and bestow upon you responsibility to spearhead the development, security, peace, and prosperity is because we have the belief that given chance you can do better than what your aspirations and utterances and whatever you put across when you are doing the campaigns. Right now, we do not expect a country where we are going to have tyrants or dictatorial regimes in form of democracy. We, being a God-fearing nation, we expect every leader to understand that it is our individual and personal responsibility to ensure that every human life is treated with dignity. We do not need to be reminded this over and over again. And for those ones holding power, we know that power is fleeting and power is not absolute. Because the organs that we are using as power, the institutions that we are using to display ourselves as authoritative and ironical, these organs have been put there to serve, to protect, to ensure that there is a conducive environment for development. Right now, we must understand that every person is watching what you're doing. And we should get ourselves out of this illusion that we can do anything and get away with it. We must understand that power is by the people, for the people, and with the people. For example, if you are a leader and you know the population of your country is over 45 million people, if over 40 million people are not content or agree or perhaps have rejected you, you need to redeem the image of your administration back. That is the best thing you're supposed to do. The police, the guns, the army, these are just handful of part of the civilians who have been given responsibility to serve our country. If there was no peace, then power would be meaningless. The Bible is telling us to circumspect. Circumspection is very important before you adopt a framework, a decision, a method, or a solution. Sit down and reconsider the aftermath of what you're about to do. Because you're a human being like others, you're a mortal like others, and for the most part of it, you must ensure that character that you are using to display your image is fit to rule. Because we know that power apart from character is satanic, but power with character is fit to rule. Therefore, for the temporary time that you are there sitting as a government officer, a leader, politician, make sure that you are responsible enough to deliver that which the reason as to why you were put there. You must take responsibility. You must be accountable for your actions because you are not there permanently. There is no holder of any office that is given the responsibility to discharge their duties permanently. It's just a matter of time because time is fleeting. We should understand that God also holds us responsible. If you're given responsibility to leadership, it is the divine that is giving us that part of responsibility. Therefore, we must be careful what we are doing, how we talk, what we utter. Because some utterances may not be actually building but creating more chaos. In a society which is full of chaos, you don't expect anything. Don't expect any development, any prosperity, or any future. Now, it is very important to be wise enough not to put the public into panic, defiance, or an act of rebellion. Because if over 45 million people go into rampage, you know you do not have the power to control them, irrespective of how many guns you will have. And these are your brothers and sisters. And any person who is seated, seeing the members of the armed forces killing their brothers and they're doing nothing, you know that you will be held accountable sooner or later. It is extremely important that you display the values that have been built in you. We understand that this country of ours is a Christian nation to the most part of it. And as much as it may be quite complicated running a government on Christian values, we understand that integration of Christian values is very important. Another thing is, whenever there is a crisis, cooperation is more beneficial than confrontation. If you are living in one room with your family members and you are in disagreement, you do not want to use arms to try to show that you are the everything, the bully, the know-it-all. You need to display humility, leadership. You need to be wise enough to bring these people together as a leader and to talk it over. If persons are complaining of molestation, economic exploitation, then that is the complaint that should be addressed. Running the police on the streets to go on rampage, shooting to kill their own brothers, their own mothers, their own sisters, their own children, will not amount to anything. It's just going to make things worse. We do not want to get in a situation whereby the very citizens of this country who are supposed to display their patriotism are going the rampage because they are fed up with the government of the day. Remember, the people elected you, and the election has taken you to the level where you are. It will not be important or advisable beating your chest, being proud, or acting as if you own the whole country. The most important thing is redeem the image of your personality, of your integrity, and the government that you are leading. All the members of parliament, all the members of the armed forces, all of us are Kenyans. And we must understand that this is the only country we have in the whole world called Kenya. If things go on rampage, we have no other place to go to. So it's the responsibility of all of us to protect, to uphold the system that is governed by the rule of law. Provocative utterances, provocative statements, which can actually escalate violence, can escalate disunity and peaceful coexistence together, which can actually interfere with peaceful coexistence together, should be stopped. We must call all the people that are complaining, if they are complaining about the economic exploitation, find out what is the problem and how to fix the problem. Stop sending the police on the streets, because that is not going to work. See things before things get worse. I'm calling over every person, especially those ones in leadership. The members of the two houses, the Senate and the Kenyan National Assembly. We must be ready not to give utterances that are portray somewhat that we are in charge of others. Nobody is in charge of anyone here. We go to election, we give you the responsibility to go represent exactly what we are. Represent the views of those people who elected you. You've got no responsibility to promote your personal agendas, because that means if you wanted to promote your personal agendas, then you should have formulated ways to get yourself there without the people that you represent. It's very important to understand, always, in any crisis, any problem, that cooperation has more benefits than confrontation. Should there be any problem in this country, rampage, or things get worse, then you leaders must be held personally responsible for your actions, because there are certain actions that, if they are put into practice, will promote violence, rebellion, and defiance. We do not want defiance from the people of Kenya. We do not want violence whereby a police is shooting, and then you'll be promoting other factors which may bring anarchy. We must understand that we owe our children their future, as our fathers owed us the future that we are in today. We must be ready to defend our country, and defending our country is not killing our brothers and sisters. To the members of the armed forces, remember, these are your brothers and sisters. Every person is contributing to the development of the economy of the country of Kenya, irrespective of whether or not they are in the armed forces. When you arm yourself, you must be a terror unto bad works. You shouldn't be a terror unto your fellow citizen. You must be responsible enough to restrain yourself from using excessive force, only that which is within the law. We understand that in all these circumstances, nobody's life was threatened among the members of the armed forces. Everything is clearly visible on camera and on record. So we must be responsible enough to be able to take care of our brothers and sisters, to defend them against any internal or external aggression, but not at the expense of killing our brothers, sisters, children, mothers, and fathers. Let us understand that nobody is special in this world. God has given us the little responsibility. Let us use it to the benefit of our peoples in the Republic of Kenya. I'm calling upon every person you're a church member, you're a religious leader, politicians, corporate members, and any other person who is maybe pursuing their education, to ensure, with the knowledge of their personal essence, that we, all of us, are responsible enough not to promote anything violent, and the government, in response to that, should restrain itself, because the government is supposed to be wiser. The government is not supposed to condone the sins of omission. The government is supposed to provide a conducive environment for peaceful coexistence, love, prosperity. The government is not supposed to practice oppression, oppressing its own citizens, whether it is economical oppression, whether it's political, or whether it's circumstantial oppression, creating circumstances that makes life even harder than anything. So for all our leaders, from the highest to the lowest, take responsibility of not giving sentiments or utterances that will land us in a situation whereby everything will be out of control. Remember, all the members of the armed forces are less in number than the people. If we lose peace, power will be nothing. We can only enjoy everything when there is peace. And we always expect peace. We expect peace, and we must promote it. We must provide the conducive environment for this peace to exist among us. We must be proud of our local backgrounds, languages, tribes, tribal affiliations, and so forth. There's nothing wrong of being either of this tribe or that one. And politics is supposed to be the management of how we run our things. It's not supposed to create divisions, hatred, and so forth. So we must know that power is temporary. You're not there forever, and no one will rule here forever. So let's understand that the path that sometimes you are choosing may prove to be both dangerous and catastrophic. We must be able to prevent any crisis, not by guns or by the barrels of the armed forces. Not really. We need to understand that when we promote love, peaceful coexistence, cooperation, not confrontation, then it will be of more benefit to us and the communities that we are at large. Thank you.